You are surrounded by enemies, not the kind that declare war, not the kind that attack you openly, but the kind that smile while they sharpen the knife, the kind that call you friend while they plot your downfall, the kind that praise you in public and destroy you in private. Machiavelli warned that the greatest threats to a man's power are not his obvious enemies. They are the people he trusts, the ones closest to him, the ones he never suspects. Because betrayal only comes from those you let inside your fortress. By the end of this video, you will know exactly who these people are. You will learn to identify the 8 personality types that Machiavelli warned against. And you will understand why trusting the wrong person is the fastest way to lose everything you've built. If you're not ready to cut people out of your life, turn this off now. Because once you see these traits, you can't unsee them. Let's begin. Trust is the most expensive mistake you can make. It costs you opportunities, it costs you resources, it costs you power, and in most cases, it costs you everything. Because the people you trust have access to your plans, access to your weaknesses, access to your vulnerabilities. And the moment they decide to use that access against you, you're finished. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince that a wise ruler trusts no one completely, not his advisors, not his allies, not even his family, because trust creates dependency, and dependency creates weakness. So here are the 8 types of people you must never trust. Study them carefully, because at least 3 of them are already in your life. Type 1, the person who has nothing to lose. This is the most dangerous person you will ever meet. They have no reputation to protect, no future to build, no consequences to fear, so they operate without restraint. They will lie without hesitation. They will betray without remorse. They will burn bridges because they were never planning to cross them again. Here's how to spot them. They talk constantly about how they don't care what people think. They have no long-term goals. They move from job to job, city to city, relationship to relationship with no pattern. They burn every bridge behind them and laugh about it. This is not freedom. This is recklessness. And recklessness makes people unpredictable. Unpredictable people are dangerous. Why? Because they have no incentive to keep their word. You can't threaten them with consequences because they don't care about consequences. You can't leverage their reputation because they have none. You can't appeal to their future because they're not building one. Machiavelli said that a man with nothing to lose is a man who cannot be controlled, and anyone who cannot be controlled cannot be trusted. So when you meet someone who proudly declares they have nothing to lose, hear the warning. They're telling you exactly who they are. Believe them and keep them far away from anything that matters to you. Type 2, the person who tells you everyone else's secrets. Listen carefully to this one. If someone is telling you other people's secrets, they are telling other people yours. There is no exception to this rule. The person who gossips to you will gossip about you. The person who betrays others' confidence to gain yours is already planning how to betray yours. Here's how they operate. They approach you with information, juicy details about mutual friends, insider knowledge about colleagues, private stories they swear they were told in confidence. They frame it as trust, as if by sharing these secrets, they're proving their loyalty to you, but they're not. They're showing you their character, and their character is that of a traitor. Research on betrayal shows that individuals who gossip compulsively lack the neural wiring for long-term loyalty. They get a dopamine hit from sharing secrets. They're addicted to the power it gives them, and you are not special. You are just their next story. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He wrote that a man who cannot keep another man's secrets will never keep yours. So here's the rule. The moment someone starts telling you things they shouldn't, cut them off. Don't engage. Don't reciprocate. Don't share anything real with them. Because whatever you tell them will be currency they spend elsewhere. And the price of that currency will be your reputation. Type 3. The person who needs you more than you need them. Dependency is not loyalty. It's a trap. When someone needs you desperately, they will do anything to keep you close. They'll agree with everything you say. They'll support every decision you make. They'll make themselves indispensable. But the moment they don't need you anymore, they'll vanish. Or worse, they'll turn on you. Here's why this happens. People who are dependent resent their dependency. They smile while they need you, but underneath that smile is hatred. Hatred for their own weakness, hatred for the power you have over them. And the moment they gain independence, that hatred surfaces. You'll see this pattern everywhere. The employee who worships you until they get a better offer. The friend who clings to you until they find a better social circle. The partner who swears devotion until they no longer need your resources. Dependency creates a debt in their mind, and people hate feeling indebted. So they'll repay that debt with betrayal. They'll convince themselves you were never really helping them, that you were manipulating them, that they owe you nothing. Machiavelli warned that men who come to you out of necessity will leave you the moment that necessity ends. So never trust someone whose loyalty is based on need, because need is temporary, and when it ends, so will their loyalty. Type 4. Pay attention to how people tell their stories. If every story ends with them being wronged, run. These people are professional victims, and professional victims are professional liars. Here's how to identify them. They've been betrayed by everyone they've ever known. Every ex was toxic. Every former friend stabbed them in the back. Every boss was unfair. Every situation was rigged against them. At first, you might feel sympathy. You might think they've just had bad luck. But then you realize something. The common denominator in all their stories is them. And if everyone in someone's life has betrayed them, the problem isn't everyone else. It's them. Here's what's really happening. These people rewrite history to avoid accountability. They can't admit fault, so they cast themselves as the victim in every narrative. And when you trust them, you become the next chapter in their victim story. The moment you set a boundary, you're the villain. The moment you disagree, you're attacking them. The moment you hold them accountable, you've betrayed them. And they'll tell everyone who will listen about how you wronged them. Psychologists call this the victim complex. It's a manipulation tactic disguised as vulnerability, and it's one of the most effective cons in human psychology. Machiavelli wrote that a man who blames the world for his failures will eventually blame you. So when you meet someone who has been victimized by everyone, understand this. You're not the exception. You're just the next person they'll add to their list. Type 5. The person who tries too hard to be liked. Beware the people pleaser. They seem harmless, agreeable, easy to get along with, but underneath that friendly exterior is someone with no core, no principles, no backbone. And when the pressure comes, they'll fold. Here's the problem with people pleasers. They don't have loyalty to you. They have loyalty to whoever is in front of them at the moment. They'll agree with you today and agree with your enemy tomorrow. They'll praise you in private and stay silent when you're attacked in public. They'll nod enthusiastically to your face and abandon you the moment it's convenient. Why? Because their primary motivation is avoiding conflict. They need to be liked more than they need to be honest, and someone who needs to be liked cannot be trusted. You'll see this in how they navigate disagreement. They never take a firm stance. They hedge every opinion. They agree with opposing sides in the same conversation. They say what people want to hear, not what they actually believe. This makes them unreliable witnesses, unreliable allies, and unreliable friends. Research on personality disorders shows that excessive agreeableness is often a mask for deep insecurity. These people don't have a self to be loyal to, so they can't be loyal to you either. Machiavelli advised that it is safer to be feared by a man of principle than loved by a man with none. The people pleaser has no principle, only fear of rejection. And that fear will make them betray you the moment the crowd turns. Type 6. The person who never admits they're wrong. This person is easy to identify. They never apologize. They never own their mistakes. They never take responsibility. And when confronted, they deflect, deny, and attack. Here's why they're dangerous. Someone who can't admit fault is someone who will destroy you to protect their ego. They'll lie before they'll admit they messed up. They'll blame you before they'll examine themselves. They'll rewrite history before they'll acknowledge reality. This person operates in a distorted reality where they are always right. And in that reality, you are always the problem. You'll see this pattern in small ways first. They forgot to do something but claim you never asked. They said something hurtful but insist you're too sensitive. They made a mistake, but somehow it's your fault for not preventing it. These small denials are tests. They're training you to accept their version of reality. And if you accept it in small things, you'll accept it in big things. Until one day, they'll betray you catastrophically. And when you confront them, they'll look you in the eye and tell you it never happened, or that you deserved it, or that you're crazy for even bringing it up. Psychologists call this gaslighting. And people who gaslight don't do it occasionally. They do it as a lifestyle. Machiavelli wrote that a man who cannot see his own faults will invent yours. So when you meet someone who never admits they're wrong, understand this: they're not confident. They're fragile. And fragile people are the most dangerous kind. Type 7. The person who has betrayed others for you. Here's a truth most people miss. If someone betrays their friend to become your friend, they will betray you to become someone else's friend. This applies to every context. The employee who badmouths their former boss to impress you will badmouth you when they leave. The friend who abandons their group to join yours will abandon yours for the next one. The partner who cheats with you will cheat on you. There is no exception to this pattern. Character is consistent, and betrayal is a character trait. Here's how to spot this person. They come to you by burning a bridge. They tell you how terrible their former friend, partner, or colleague was. They position you as the upgrade, the better option, the one who truly understands them. And it feels flattering. You feel chosen, special, superior to whoever they left behind. But you're not special, you're just next. Because people who betray don't betray once. They betray as a pattern. It's how they move through the world. Research on moral consistency shows that individuals who violate trust in one relationship are statistically likely to violate trust in future relationships. Betrayal isn't situational, it's dispositional. Machiavelli was explicit about this. Never trust a man who has betrayed others to serve you, because the same incentive that brought him to you will take him away from you. So, when someone comes into your life by destroying their loyalty to someone else, don't celebrate. Prepare, because your turn is coming. Type 8. The person who asks for your secrets before sharing theirs. This is the subtlest manipulation on the list, and the most effective. Here's how it works. They ask you personal questions, deep questions, questions about your fears, your past, your vulnerabilities, and they frame it as intimacy, as if asking means they care. But they don't share first. They extract. They collect your secrets like intelligence, and they give nothing in return. This is reconnaissance, not friendship. Real trust is built through mutual vulnerability. I share something, you share something. We exchange risk, but these people don't exchange. They harvest. They want to know your weaknesses without revealing theirs. They want leverage without liability. And the moment they have enough information, they'll use it. You realize too late that every question was strategic. Every conversation was an interrogation. Every moment of apparent intimacy was actually extraction. And now they know exactly where to strike. Machiavelli wrote that information is power, and those who seek it without offering it in return are preparing for war. So here's the test. When someone asks you personal questions, ask them the same questions first. If they deflect, dodge, or turn it back on you, they're not building connection. They're building a file, and that file will be used against you. Trust is built through balance. If someone demands your vulnerability without offering theirs, they don't want a relationship. They want a weapon, and you're handing it to them. Now, let me be very clear about something. This doesn't mean you trust no one. It means you trust strategically. You test people before you invest in them. You observe behavior over time. You watch how they treat others when they think you're not watching. You note the small betrayals before the big ones happen. And you never, ever give anyone full access to your inner world. Machiavelli said that a wise prince keeps his own counsel and reveals himself to no one completely. This is not paranoia. This is survival, because the world is filled with people who will use your trust against you. And the moment you let your guard down is the moment they strike. So what do you do with this information? First, go through your current relationships. Identify which of these 8 types are in your life right now, because they're there. Second, start reducing access. You don't need to cut them off dramatically. Just stop telling them important things. Stop including them in your plans. Stop being available when they reach out. Let the relationship die naturally through distance. Third, never explain why. The moment you tell someone you don't trust them, they'll either manipulate you into trusting them again, or they'll strike preemptively. So say nothing. Just quietly remove them from your inner circle. Fourth, build new relationships carefully. Test people with small trusts first. Give them low-stakes information and see what they do with it. If they prove reliable over time, you can increase trust incrementally, but never fully. Fifth, understand that loneliness is safer than betrayal. You will lose friends doing this. You will feel isolated, but isolation is temporary. Betrayal is permanent. Better to be alone and powerful than surrounded and vulnerable. Machiavelli wrote that the fox must be alone to survive among wolves. You are the fox, and the wolves are everywhere. So walk alone, trust strategically, and never forget that the people smiling at you today may be sharpening the knife for tomorrow. If this opened your eyes, understand this. What I just shared with you is surface level. There are deeper layers to identifying enemies. Psychological profiling techniques used by intelligence agencies. Behavioral analysis methods that reveal intent before action. Manipulation detection strategies that most people will never learn. I can't share those here. The algorithm would bury this video, but they exist behind the join button. If you're still watching, you already see the world differently than most people. Subscribe if you haven't, but if you want the tools to protect yourself completely, click join and enter the architect level. You'll get access to content that cannot exist in public. Most people won't do this. They'll stay vulnerable. They'll keep trusting blindly. They'll keep getting betrayed. But you're not most people. Now go, audit your circle, remove the threats, and remember, trust is not a gift, it's a weapon. Only give it to those who've proven they won't use it against you. And even then, keep one hand on the knife.